And good evening and welcome to the greatest high school sports show in America. It's the Eagle Show here from Hub City Deli. And, of course, my co-host, as usual, and does color with me, all-around good guy. If I took time to list all the jobs he has, I probably couldn't get anybody else on tonight. Brian Bullard is here with me, and Brian is now Assistant Athletic Director. He also coaches football and baseball and spends time with his family, which a lot of coaches don't do. But, Brian, I'm excited about this. We got all kinds of things happening. We had such a great year last year that we're going to recap. We've got great things happening at Jackson Christian School this year, and congratulations on your promotion.
Coach, I appreciate it. And once again, we're thankful for Hub City Deli to let us be here tonight. Been excited. We started planning this show and kind of our lineup this summer, sat down with some folks, and really excited about our coaches that we have here tonight. We even have a couple players that we're going to talk to and just try to hit on as many JCS athletics as we can, both from last year, talk about some state tournament stuff, and then moving into the fall, and, of course, football, which we will talk plenty of on the show. Absolutely.
And, folks, not only the show has the family magic, the football team, our new volleyball team, and they're doing good. I got to talk to Kendall Turner. It's just an exciting time to be an Eagle. Our new president of the school and upper school principal. Plus, I believe his wife's going to be one of the assistant athletic directors with y'all this year. And behind us, the man with the plan in football, but he's also the AD, and I admire him for wearing those hats too.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of change, but it's good change. And we're excited. And just leaving campus a few minutes ago, finishing up football practice, you had a middle school softball game going on. You had a soccer game going on. Kids practicing on the baseball field. Elementary team practicing on the football field. It's just when you get to this time of year and you start seeing all the athletes on campus and you start seeing the parking lot full, you just get excited because you also know Friday night's coming. And that's what, that'll kind of be the culmination of the week. We have all these smaller activities and all this stuff leading up to it, with a lot of our athletes competing in different sports, and we're just excited for another year.
Well, we've got golfers at Freed Hardeman. We'll talk some about them, but what a season the golf team had last year, and they're going to have another great one. They're already beating on people, and I am very proud of them. We've got today, we picked up Aiden Shaw committed, or he had an offer. He had an offer.
Yeah.
Had an offer.
Sir.
I'm getting so excited. I'm trying to sign him off and stuff. But and we got other kids that's being looked at. Our football team's got a ton of offers that's been made, and some of those young men are still juniors.
That's right. It's exciting times, and you want that publicity for our school, but more importantly, you want our athletes to get the recognition for all the work they put in. And you're not going to find a harder worker than Aiden Shaw. He's up before a lot of us, working out, doing stuff, and then going to school, and just a committed young man. Excited. That won't be his first offer. I'm excited to see where our future takes him.
Well, in his case, I watched his progress as he came up, and let's be honest. 4 years ago, he could drive to the basket, but now he's got a complete game, and boy, he threw some bullet passes. I'm looking forward to seeing him, and he's one of those young men that you just like to coach. And the young ladies we got here, I didn't even mention Kendall a minute ago. Maggie Richardson's here, and I think she's got an offer, and I believe she's committed to Mississippi College.
That's right.
I believe she's going to go there, and she's throwing about 67, 68. Her goal is to throw 7. We'll talk with her a little more about that. But what a year, and it's going to be a great year. And if you come out to our games, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and if we can, we'll have an ice hockey team. I can think the only two things we don't have is wrestling and lacrosse. And lacrosse is relatively new and pretty much relegated to Middle Tennessee right now.
That's right.
But, hey, if it's being done, we'll do it. And academically, I'm excited about the school. Wish Jackson Christian had been around when I was in school.
That's right.
Well, let's tell you what let's do. Brian, unless you've got something we need to bring to the agenda, let's take our first break, and I think we're going to have a pitcher par excellent. I'm an old softball player, but I don't know if I could hit off of her. And we want to talk with state championship tested. She had the team, and the team got to the tournament last year. We'll bring Maggie Richardson in here first, talk to Coach Smith a little later about golf. Let's take that first time out here on the Eagle Show at the Hub City Deli.
Great American Sports. Make sports an addiction. Located at 125B Old Hickory Boulevard, East in Jackson. We specialize in teen sports for youth leagues, schools, and churches. We can embroider and screen print team uniforms. We also have sports equipment, Under Armour, and Adidas clothing, and anything else you need for your teen sports. You can email or call us for all your teen sports needs. Great American Sports. Make sports an addiction.
We are back at Hub City Deli. I'm excited because we're back to our original order. Coach Smith moves faster than somebody hitting a golf ball off of a tee, and he got in here in time, and what a great guy. Coach, I've been watching Facebook and seeing the results, and that's another thing, folks. Keep up with our golf team on Jackson Christian's Facebook, because we are tearing it up right now. I wouldn't play against your guys. I'd be so embarrassed. They are good, and they're well coached.
Yeah, we're deep. We're a young squad, but, boy, I tell you what, we got a talented bunch of guys. We're excited. It's exciting. We've got off to a hot start this year. Just trying to build on what we started last year, how we finished the season. We finished runner-up in the West region down in Memphis. The tournament was held at Miramichi. We turned right around, played the following week in the Division II state tournament out in Sevierville on the other side of the state, and finished third in the state, finished really strong. So we returned 4 starters out of 5 from last year. We lost 1 senior starter and lost a lot of senior depth from last year, a lot of leadership. But yeah, looking to build on that this year.
Well, you got some young men playing down at Freed Hardeman golf.
We do. We have 2 seniors that graduated last year, Braden Riddle and Brady Webb, that are moving on to Freed Hardeman. We wish those guys best of luck, and hoping we can get our golf team out there to watch those guys some.
Oh, it would be great. Golf is an exciting sport. In the TSSAA last year at the state, our scores that was a tough tournament last year, but we still had some very good scores.
We did, and I'll tell you one thing we kind of like to hang our hat on is our depth. Yep. And in golf you play 5 guys and you take your 4 best scores each round. Well, I kind of took a look at that later on. I said, boy, we had 5 guys that were right there the whole week. And if you took every team and everybody had to count all 5 starters, we would have won the state tournament last year.
Well, I was going to ask you.
That's big time.
Afraid my math wasn't good. So I am correct that you would have won it, because we do have, or at least last year, we had 5 solid guys. Looks like we got 5 solid again this year.
We do, and we had more than 5 last year, and we've got more than 5 this year. We have guys on the team last year and guys this year that would start on other teams in West Tennessee.
Absolutely. Don't want to take away from the gentleman, but now we have 1 lady golfer this year, but I understand she's pretty good too.
Yeah, we got Callie Lonis. Dr. Lonis' daughter has joined the team with us. We didn't have any returning girl golfers from last year, but she's joined the team, and she's excited. We got a lot of youth. We got some girls coming up in middle school as well, so we're looking to build that girls program, get it up there where the boys program is currently. So.
Well, I hear that we have some really fine girl golfers coming out of the middle school. My co-host on another show that I do for the radio station I work for, his niece is in the top 25 in the world in the 12-year-olds and things. And we've got some players coming, folks. We've got one good one for this year. She's going to represent us well, and then we're going to add on to that. I'm looking forward to anything else we need to say about the up-and-coming girls golf team.
No, we're just, like I said, we're excited to grow that. The girls golf team is really young, and we're looking to grow that just like we have the boys.
Absolutely.
So we're really looking forward to doing that.
Now the boys, they either wore out the country club's course or Jackson National, or did they wear both out?
It was the Jackson Country Club. I think a week ago today we played out there, and our 4 low scores, we shot 1 under as a team.
Yes.
And that is just really outstanding. Again, can't speak to the depth of these kids and their commitment and their positive attitude. I mean, these guys are putting the work in. They don't just show up on game day and shoot good scores.
No, you just brought something up, Coach Smith, that I wanted to hit on. I'm not a golf guy. I don't have the patience. I enjoy going out there and riding in the cart, watching Coach Palmer hit balls into the woods and all that stuff. But is it something? This guys in our team. Is it just a personal drive? Do they push each other? Are they going on their own? What is it that makes? I know they're skilled. I know that. But what separates our team from some of the folks that we're going up and competing against?
I think you hit it there. They're all self-driven. Don't get me wrong; those guys would all be good golfers if they were out there on a team by themselves. But they push each other. They do, and they feed off of that. I mean, going back to last year and year before, and having those older guys on the team that would meet them out at the golf course, and having those older guys, and setting that bar higher and higher, it's definitely helped our team.
Yeah. Talk about, and we're not going to get too individual here, but talk about Mason. Just he's been playing, but joining golf this fall, and what has he brought to your squad?
He's brought some consistency to that. He's kind of in that 5 spot right now, and he's really has helped our team. He fits in with those guys. I mean, a lot of those guys have played other sports with Mason over the years, but having him come in, and he kind of came in at last season and played a few events with us, and he's trying to step that up this year and play some more.
It's hard when you're pretty good at football too. That makes it hard.
I'll tell you what, he had a long day yesterday, and he had some long days last year, but we played out at the Country Club yesterday in the FCA Invitational, and we had a weather delay first thing yesterday morning, so we didn't finish up out there. I think Mason finished right about the time football practice was getting started. We ushered him off the golf course into a vehicle, and he went straight to football practice.
And probably didn't complain.
No, I'm sure he didn't.
That's right.
His hand-eye coordination is excellent, isn't it?
It goes, it is, and it goes a long way in this sport for sure.
Now, Coach Andreoni, is he helping you again this year?
Absolutely, and I'm sure Pete would love to be here tonight. He's actually out of town with his day job, but he would love to be here.
Oh, that is great. I know you love coaching. Just one thing, everything's special because you love your kids, I can tell that, but what is something that really stands out about how you feel about your golf team?
I'll tell you something that always makes us proud as coaches, especially in the game of golf, is we may have mentioned this last year, but it's a game of integrity, and sometimes in golf you have to call a penalty on yourself. We had that happen last year, and actually in the same tournament we just played in yesterday, we had a kid that hit the wrong ball and had to call that penalty on themselves. And man, when a kid does that, and last year it was an incorrect scorecard, and you call that penalty on yourself, boy, that just really makes you proud as a coach.
Yes.
That we're getting that across to our kids.
So
we're just proud of all of them.
And when the great scorer comes to score for that young man, he will mark favorably for him in something that's more important than playing golf, basketball, football. The Lord's work is to be done. But the tournament play we have, when is our next match?
So we play again this Thursday out at Woodland Hills in a 9-hole match, just us and Jackson Southside. So we're looking forward to that. We've got 3 more 18-hole tournaments that are coming up in our season. We'll be in Dyersburg next Monday in the Dyersburg High School Classic. And then 2 weeks from today, we'll be down in Memphis playing in a very competitive tournament that the Memphis Homeschool Academy hosts.
Yeah.
And they don't compete in TSSAA, but, boy, they've got a strong golf program. So
yes. Now, are you going to play the Humboldt Golf and Country Club course?
We do. That's our home course, and we're very happy and gracious that they allow us to call that place home. Great practice facilities and great place for our team to go practice and play our home matches.
And our middle school team will crank up in the spring, right?
That's right. We'll get started, typically get started up in March and then kind of really hit it hard for about 6 weeks in middle school before you get into postseason.
Besides being quiet when you watch them, what can the parents, the fans, and we've got people that don't have children, I don't think, they follow your golf team because of it. What can they do to help y'all?
Well, I tell you, just encourage the kids. Golf looks easy. I'm telling you, they put in countless hours. And just encourage those kids. I mean, even the best kids on our team have bad days. So, tell them, hey, they appreciate that.
Coach Smith, we've got about 45 seconds. What would you like to tell the fans? It's your turn to say anything.
Oh, goodness. Hey, go Eagles is what I say. So get out there and support all of these student athletes. I mean, I'm excited about getting out Friday night and watching our football team play. So whatever sport they're playing, let's just support all of them.
Absolutely. If you get a chance, go out and watch them play. But I'll encourage you, because I've been at a golf match recently, please stay quiet when people are putting and stuff. We're going to take another timeout, and when we come back, the Golden Arm herself, Maggie Richardson, will be with us. We'll be back after these important messages at Hub City Deli.
Dynamics Physical Therapy, your elite provider in sports medicine and performance. Now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
And we're back on the Jackson Eagle Show, or just the Eagle Show if you prefer to call it that, but Jackson Christian with great academics, great athletes, and wonderful coaches. You think we had it all with Coach Smith? Mm-hmm. We're going to top it now with the Golden Arm herself, Maggie Richardson. Maggie, we are glad to have you here.
Thank you.
We're trying to talk Maggie also into running a camera during football season. But what a year you had and the team last year.
Yes.
State tournament bound, and that was what, our fifth or sixth trip to the state tournament?
Third in a row, fifth or sixth overall.
Yeah, and you want to, Coach and I could recap it, but I want to get you to recap your season early.
Early in the season, we had a bunch of doubts. We didn't think anything that we would make it as far as we did, and we lost region, so we had to play our playing game at home, and the student body showed out for us and helped us get the win on that one. And then we went sub-state and played and lost our first game, and then played back-to-back and won both of those and got us to state. And we actually won our first game in state in 3 years in a row, so that was a good season ending to at least win one game.
Well, we were one of the four best teams in this entire state. I had somebody ask me, it was one of the football parents, how can you throw that much? Because Maggie we're training more pitchers, but
yes, sir.
When it comes down to the time that it's important, and we're going to have if she has thrown 3 consecutive games in a row, what's the secret of being able to throw that much?
I think taking care of my body, taking care of my arm, icing after every game, just making sure I'm stretching, doing the stuff I need to do to make sure I am there for my team and doing the best I can do for them.
Is it easier to be a windmiller than a slingshotter?
Definitely windmill.
Definitely windmill.
Definitely.
Coach, I'm going to let you ask a couple of questions. Then we need to meet this fantastic young lady up close and personal.
I want to go, Maggie, thanks for being on. I want to go back to Lakeway. And the first game, I was fortunate enough to be able to make that trip and be there. In the first game, it was a wild environment. Their fans were wild and loud, and we were kind of shell-shocked after getting off a long bus trip and all those things. Mm-hmm. How are we able to regroup after losing that first game? You go back to the hotel and do all those things. How are we able to regroup, and kind of what was Coach Wheeler's message to y'all coming onto that next day?
I think the first day we kind of let the students get in our heads because they were in our ears. They were on the home field. They had home field advantage. And coming in to the next day where we had 2 games, we were like, we don't need that in our head, because we knew at the end of the day we were better. Mm-hmm. And we deserved more the win than they did, and we wanted it more than they did. And we wanted it for the seniors that we lost, and we didn't want it to be that last game. We wanted it to end at state with them, and so that was a big thing. And Coach Wheeler just basically said that the outside environment means nothing. It's the 9 on the field and the people in the dugout and the 2 coaches, and nothing outside of the dugout, outside of the field means anything. So, we went in with that, and we won both games.
And it was really awesome to see y'all overcome that adversity from day 1 to day 2, and the difference. And then go to the state tournament, Coach, and that was my first softball state tournament. And the level of intensity at a softball state tournament is something that I was not expecting. And how do you – I mean, the noisemakers alone will drive you insane. But a really good environment of schools supporting their teams and all those things. And we had a good crowd there supporting us. So how do y'all kind of channel that and use that, not get too high, not get too low, and just go out and compete? And, I mean, we were right there in that Columbia Academy game and could have gone either way. So how are y'all able to kind of channel that mentally and deal with that?
I think the support system's very good, and that helps us. But our attitudes have to be there, and we had them. And, I mean, like the first game where we held head-to-head until the 7th inning, I mean, it was back and forth, and both of the attitudes on both teams were really good, and we both wanted it. And that Columbia Academy game, we fell short, and we wanted it. We really did, because we wanted to make it to the championship game. That was our goal. We fell short. Creds to them. It was a good game. Some things didn't go our way, but it happens. Softball's a game of failure, but.
Coach, I got to piggyback off your question just a little bit. The Columbia Academy game, you can tell me I'm wrong. I felt like it was kind of like in football. We didn't lose. The clock ran out on us. I felt like if y'all had just had one more inning, and I'm not just saying it because you're here on the show, I believe we could have won it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, 7 innings, seeing the same pitcher, I think if we would have got one more inning, we would have been in the state championship game.
And we're still one of the 4 best in the state of Tennessee.
Sir.
Really, we're one of the 3 best. And you know how that goes. Coach, you got another one for us?
No, let's go ahead and get to your stuff, Coach.
Well, folks, you're fixing to hear from number 19. She is class of 2024. If I had my way about it, I'd change her transcript and keep her another year, but I don't. And she is a great pitcher. And, Maggie, the one thing some people want to know, what else do you play when you're not pitching?
I can play third or first. I can play the corners, but I'm going to college to pitch. So
and tell them what college.
I'm going to Mississippi College to be a pitcher.
And that's a done deal, folks.
Yes.
And just like we had some good news, Aiden got an offer today in basketball. But this is a sure thing. Let's go through the whole thing. Favorite sports memory, period. Not just at Jackson Christian, but anywhere.
I would say last year, I mean, I'm going to say JCS, us winning our first state game after 3 years of going back, and we finally got the win. And, I mean, it just shows, like, we've been there 2 years. We're going to show up again, and we're going to get the win. So we got to win. That was definitely the best memory.
Now, folks, just when you think this wonderful young lady is all athletics, what's your favorite class?
Definitely math.
And that's tough. I know how tough the math is at Jackson Christian. I would have had to go on and taken mine by a correspondence course or something. They do a good job with that. And, of course, you like food, but I know that you like one particular kind of food. You want to tell them about it?
Definitely Mexican. Steak, cheese, and rice all the way.
Okay, I was fixing to ask favorite dish, but that pretty well takes care of that. And what we've got is we always ask, what other sports do you play?
I played soccer last year, and I played basketball up till I was in 7th grade. But now that I'm about to go to college for softball, I'm sticking to softball for injury purposes and just keeping my body in good condition.
Now, I know you only list one hobby, but I bet you either listen to music or read a whole lot.
I like hanging out with my friends a lot and hanging out with my family since I am about to leave and go a pretty good distance away. So
now, you have a fun fact listed down there. I'm going to let you tell the people what's a fun fact they need to know about Maggie Richardson.
I committed to Mississippi College a week after I got the offer. Committed really early. I committed as a really early, and it scared me later down the road, but I knew that's where I wanted to go, and so I got it taken care of, and so that's it.
Maggie, your favorite Bible verse, because we go to a good, fine Christian institution.
Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through him.
And she can. And 30 seconds, you got anything you want to say to everybody?
Thank you for all the support. It means a lot. And come out and support us this year.
Absolutely. Come see those Lady Eagles play. You have been privileged to hear the great Maggie Richardson. Number 19 on the chart, but number 1 in your heart. We'll be back after these important messages.
Do you want your smile to say it all? At Elite Dental Care, we'll make you and your family feel comfortable and secure with a variety of services and state-of-the-art care. We offer sedation dentistry that will make your time in the dental chair comfortable and relaxed. Come by and see our newly renovated and expanded office in Jackson, or one of our other convenient locations in Trenton or Dyersburg. Trust your smile with Elite Dental Care, and let your smile say it all.
And we are back here at Hub City Deli on the Eagle Show, Jackson Christian Sports, but we talk academics too, and we've got another fine guest, and this is a two-sport letter person. Are you a three-sport letter person, Kendall? Just two. Yes, she could probably play three if she wanted to. Well coordinated, and she can do anything. Hand-eye coordination, very, very, very good. And of course, none other than Kendall Turner, who not only played shortstop some. I believe you could play all nine, but you never tried pitching, did you?
No, sir.
Okay, but she could. She's got the touch. Last year, she had to jump in there and catch. We had some sickness, and how many did you? I know you threw out at least two in one game because I was doing that game. Yes, and she got a great arm and stuff. But Kendall, we'll give you an opening statement. You say anything you want to right now to the fans, and then Coach Bullard and I have got some questions for you.
Okay.
Do you like playing two sports?
I do. I love it.
Okay.
Yes.
And I tell you what we need to do, Coach. We need to get her to talk about the volleyball team first because it's our newest sport. And we'll let you introduce who's coaching y'all, and I want to know what position you play and who the hitters are.
Coach Mackenzie Humphrey is coaching. She's been coaching. She coached middle school for the first time, I think. Was it last year or maybe the year before? And then we had our first high school team this past year, and we just had JV. So it was definitely a building year. And then this year we do have a varsity and a JV team. So we're excited to see how the season goes. And then our hitters, we have Bailey Robinson is hitting. She's playing middle. And then Abigail Melton is playing. Gabriella is also playing. And I play middle back position.
Middle back. Now,
Yes,
do you like diving and rolling and popping? Because playing middle back and being a receiver, that means you're in every receive or serve that we have, if at all possible. And it's exciting back there.
Yes, sir.
And you like diving. It's kind of like playing shortstop and diving for a ground ball.
Yes, sir.
And got a drill that you like. I know, everybody. Last time I interviewed somebody about it, they said, I like bump, set, and spike, which has, some people call it pepper and all that. Give me something more exciting than that.
It's not really a drill, but it's a game we play, Queen of the Court.
Ah, yes.
So we do like 3 on each side, and then you can do like pass, set, hit. And it's just whoever wins, you like switch out.
Absolutely. Now, I know I could be mean to Coach Bullard because his wife works with volleyball too. Yes, and we ought to let you ask him some questions, but it's his turn to talk to you about volleyball.
Kendall, thanks for being here. Just some stuff that Coach Max sent us. Y'all have 3 seniors, and what have those seniors brought to your team, because this is a new thing, and so it's got growing pains, and you're trying to get people out and get people to play and get excitement and build all those things. What have these 3 seniors brought to your volleyball team?
I think one of the main goals of this year, we did our goals a couple of days ago, and everyone collectively said that we want to be united this year and have be super close. And I think that the seniors have done a good job so far of like being a leadership role and trying to make sure that everyone is like has good chemistry. And
is there a sport, and I've coached a lot of them, is there a sport that takes more continuity and more chemistry than volleyball? Because if you look at it, it's, and you don't know that you're hitting it back and forth. You just need somebody to get it back. But the rotations and the way that y'all have to trust each other, all those things, how important is that, and what role does that play in being successful?
It's extremely important. I wouldn't say I've ever played a sport that you need more communication than volleyball. And
I've watched my wife play in college, and she's coached, and it's fast. It moves very fast, and watched Kendall at the Freed Hardman Play Day a couple weeks ago, and our girls are growing and getting better. And she mentioned this earlier, our first varsity season and official varsity season, and we're very excited about that.
Yeah. Kendall, I got to ask this, and then we'll get a little softball in here. What about, you talked about competitiveness and teamwork, and it's got to be family like the football.
Right.
I'm not going to make you do it, but have you got a good cheer after we ace somebody?
Yes, we have come up with one. We're still working on it. It's
you're
not
still
great
working.
yet.
Well, we'll
but-
hold it.
Okay.
We're going to get
That's
it on
important.
tonight.
I've learned that. That's very important. You got to have
it
that.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach is absolutely right. Coach, let's switch gears, and we're speaking with number 22, class of 2024. Like I said, I think she could play any position on the field. She mainly plays infield, especially shortstop. She can go in the hole and get them. She can go behind second base and straighten up and throw, and I was really impressed when she had to step in. It was almost last minute, one of the games, and catch and did a super job. How can you be so versatile?
I've really played my entire life, and I played travel ball when I was younger, and I've played high school all 4 years, so I've had a lot of experience.
Coach looks like he's got a state tournament or a competitive question. I can read. He's a wonderful guy.
I don't know Kendall extremely well, but Kendall, I want to know if you have an excited face, because to me, like watching her play and even watching her in the state tournament when the team needs a big hit or a big play across the infield, the composure is always the same. And if I watch your mom, she doesn't really change a whole lot of expression either. So is that where you get that? Where have you picked that up as far as your composure in big moments?
Probably so. I like to always have humility, of course, and that probably plays into it a little bit. But I don't know. I just never show emotion when I get excited, especially just in sports.
Right.
But
Right.
yes, sir.
And at the end of the day, it's still a game, and you try to keep that in mind. So we talked to, I don't know if you could hear us talk to Maggie, but one of my favorite moments from last year, not even a sport I coached, but going to Lakeway and watching y'all take 2 out of 3 from them and winning back-to-back games. We heard her perspective. I want your perspective of that Thursday night. I believe y'all played on Thursday. That Thursday night, what did you do personally, and what did our team do mentally to get ready and go back into another kind of hostile environment? And they did a good job. And how were y'all able to overcome that?
I think the coaches played a big role in that, and they really encouraged us to block out all of that, and we had to really have a lot of communication, and we just had to work together to pull through, because going into it, everybody that night especially, everybody was down, and
there was frustration,
right,
and rightfully so.
It was very hard to, especially that day, to think we don't want it to end this way, so it was definitely the coaches just giving us a positive perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we need to do the up close and personal, and we may go over a little bit. Gary can hear me. That class of 24, this is it. You play shortstop, his main position. What do you want to accomplish this year? And then we'll get the other questions.
I think having so many seniors last year is going to make a big difference this year, but I think we still have a lot of potential, so I have hopes that as long as we have a lot of leadership on the team and we continue to have good chemistry, I think that we can still have a really good year.
Absolutely. Now, favorite sports memory at Jackson Christian?
Let me see. Probably the sub-state game at Lakeway.
That would be mine, too. I agree with her. And up there, Coach, I know about Lakeway because one of my former players, Randy Kaufman, used to coach basketball up there. And they can be brutal up there as far as
yes,
cheering and noise and trying to intimidate you legally. What about class? There's so many great classes to take. What's your favorite class at Jackson Christian?
Subject?
Yes, subject.
Sociology this year.
Like so. Who's your sociology teacher?
Caleb Johnson.
And I'm not even going to ask you. I know you like that class and you like your teacher too.
Yes,
And that's a good thing. What's your favorite food?
This is weird, but salmon.
Nothing wrong with that. You like to get it and have it seasoned well.
Oh, yes, sir.
Put the lemon. I like to squeeze lemon juice extra
Yes,
on
sir.
it. Great stuff. And of course, you play 2 sports. We've already identified that. What about some hobbies?
I like to work out. I love reading. I like listening to podcasts.
You do. And a fun fact, something nobody except for maybe close friends knows about you.
Let's see. I have 5 dogs. That's them.
I didn't even know that, and I love puppies and stuff. And you're also an avid reader too, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I like to read.
She can read. Listen, you got favorite Bible verse. I would be remiss. The Lord would not be happy if I forgot to ask you that.
I picked Jeremiah 29 because I feel like it really applies to the season that I'm in right now, as far as like just the unknown and plans for college and everything that.
And yes, 29:11, and that's a good one.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna tell you what. If you got anything you want to say, because there's a lot of fans that, and the softball team has, but we've got a great school. Anything you want to say to any of those folks?
I just want to say thank you to everyone that has come out in the past and supported us, and to say thank you for just being there and showing up.
I got to ask you volleyball number, and I will end it. We got to get it all in. What are you wearing in volleyball?
Number?
Yes, number
22.
Oh, you're wearing it in both
Yes, sir.
sports? Well, she's number 22 in both programs, but just like Maggie, our young people are number 1 in our hearts. We love them to death, and we want to thank you, and good job, and I can't wait. Don't get to call in volleyball. I'm going to come watch y'all, but I can't wait for softball.
Thank you.
You are welcome. We're going to take a time out. You better come down here. You can get Darby Palmer's autograph. Shane Cisco's even here. We've had parents here. We got players here, and it is a wonderful place to be at Hub City Deli. I'll even arrange for you to get an autograph from Gary Lockhart, our producer, and you want one of those. They're valuable. We'll be back after this time out.
Downtown is thriving, and the Blacksmith Restaurant is leading the pack. From the rustic dining room to the unmatched patio, eating local with family is what we're about. Live local, eat local, relax local.
No matter where you are, you can shop 24/7 at HumboldtDodgeChryslerJeep.com with the area's largest used car inventory.
And we are back. There's so much fun going on. We've even added some extra people here. Man, I like that. That's your son sporting that cap back there, isn't it?
Yeah, they just got in from little baseball practice, so excited to see them.
We've got to talk. You know what? Like I said earlier, we've got every TSSAA sport except for the lacrosse, and eventually we'll get there, but not many teams. I don't know if anybody in West Tennessee's got it right now. And we don't have wrestling, and there's not much of that left. That's mostly Middle Tennessee and hanging around Chattanooga. Brian, we've got some other fine sports we need to talk about. Well-rounded program academically and athletically.
Yeah, and we'll just kind of go down our list of some folks that couldn't be here tonight, but they've given us some stuff to talk about with their team. And we'll start with high school cross country. And you were going to try to do his last name. I call him Coach Kendall.
That's what I
we're
need
going
to
stick
do.
with that.
That's what I did last time.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that, and it's a unique situation. We've had a couple big classes of cross country that worked their way up and graduated, and so right now you're talking about having Will Johnson in his 3rd season as a runner. And he and Coach Kendall go out and really put in a ton of effort and time into this. And we'll kind of combine these, Coach. We'll talk about our middle school cross country kind of with this. You watch them right now, and there's a trail of them running around campus. And so Coach Kendall's goal and hope, and Coach Stephanie Fenton's hope, is that we can continue to build that program, and those folks can jump up and be our high school runners. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you have cycles like that where you have big grades and big groups, and the interest just isn't there for a little bit. And so, but it doesn't mean that they're not working. It doesn't mean they're not putting in the time. And these folks, they're in the heat. They're running. We're at football practice. They're out doing their thing. And so we're excited to see that going on campus. Miss Fenton does a great job supporting her runners, and they're going to run in 7 meets, which is a good number. And she, like I said, she has a good group of kids, and so we're looking forward to that program, kind of getting back to the numbers and things that we've had in the past.
Oh, absolutely. I look at their schedule, tough schedule. Now the varsity has they've had individuals run 9 or 10 times in the state meet, and some years more than one. But as a team, we have been there 4 times, if I'm not incorrect. And our cross-country program has a long history with the state of Tennessee and the TSSAA.
Absolutely, and we had Allie Hilkema did a great job running in I believe at Ouachita, and I think she's still running as far as I know. And so we've put out some really good cross-country athletes, and that's a testament to their hard work. And so hopefully we'll get back to that and be able to, put out some really good runners and competitors through this.
Absolutely. Now, it looks like we've got soccer next. And, of course, in the fall you play girls soccer, you play guys soccer in the spring. And Coach Darren Goldie coaches both teams.
Yeah, Coach Goldie, he's not a full-time staff member, but he puts in a lot of time. He comes in off season and in the summer and runs camps and does all these things and he's been a part of our soccer program for a long time as an assistant, now as a head coach. They have 6 seniors and really good group of seniors. Went 8-8 last year, and they won the Gatlinburg tournament that I believe they're fixing to go to at the end of this week, if I'm not mistaken. And so they're hoping to build on some success from last season and be able to make a run in the postseason.
Absolutely. And you say, wait a minute, guys, y'all didn't talk about – we're going to get the other sports, baseball, middle school baseball, high school, and we won the middle school championship last year. That was such a treat. I got to do that game. We've got other sports that are happening, and I bet we got some good chess players and checker players too there. But Brian, anything that we have left out that we need to cover?
Yeah, you mentioned something that we're hoping to have as we progress through our season. We're hoping to kind of have the basketball coaches on, Coach Schutz, Coach Teichman, and their staffs, and start introducing that and start getting the fans ready once it cools off. And I'm ready for that. But getting those teams and our tennis team, super competitive.
Yes, I'm glad you picked up.
Jack Beasy at the state tournament.
Champion.
Yeah, and so Coach, I got to go to my first softball state championship or state tournament, and then the next morning watch Jack play in the opening round of his state tournament, and he fell short there, but a young player that's going to be there every year, and so Coach Scott Lockridge does a great job with our program.
3 of the finest young men in America, not just at Jackson Christian School, just walked in right behind us, and all of them with the great smiles. And you guys have worked them to death today, and of course, part of your leadership and the best young center for his size in America is back there in that group.
Absolutely, this is what we wanted. This when we envisioned the show, we hope to fill it up and have a bunch of folks here from Jackson Christian come out support. And it's exciting to see those guys.
Coach, it's just about time to take another break, and then we get the man with the plan, the guy that did a great job speaking to the Exchange Club today. You're my friend, but our head coach and athletic director now, Darby Palmer, will be with us here in just a few seconds after we take this important time out from Hub City Deli.
We realize you have a busy lifestyle. And at the Bank of Jackson, we're here to help you fulfill all of your financial needs, personal and business loans, mortgages, online banking and bill pay, and so much more. Serving the Jackson area for 25 years. The Bank of Jackson, your down-home community bank. You belong here. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
We're back at Hub City Deli for the Jackson Eagle Show or Jackson Christian Eagle Show, and what a great night we've had. We've got young men that have just come in, but it's my pleasure to introduce a guy that not only is the winningest head football coach in Jackson Christian history, and he's too humble to say it, but I'll say it for him. He's one of those kind of guys that if you had a son, you'd want him to be like Coach Palmer. But he's also taken the job of athletic director, and that's a hard job, people. It's not as easy to think. But Darby, glad to have you here tonight.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Now, I got my first question, and Brian can have the next one because you'll probably knock me out and say, what in the world possessed you to wear two hats?
Oh, well, I don't know. There's some days I think that, but really it goes back to the staff that we have running our athletic department. Coach Bull is a part of that, and his wisdom on a daily basis. I bring him into an office and talk to him, and we also have Jennifer Lawrence and then also Drew Pirtle. So it's not me. It's never been about me. It's about the staff that we have creating a great experience for our student athletes.
I knew that when I had Drew. I know he handles a lot of TSSAA, and I'm not as familiar with Jennifer. I do want to meet her, but I understand she is a whiz at athletic stuff. Her husband is the new, I call it upper school principal. He's our principal of the high school, however you want to say it. And folks, I was teasing at him because he's very capable of doing it. And he still manages to have time for his family and stuff. And that picture of you and your wife that was taken needs to be framed and put up somewhere in the house. And
yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to let Brian hit you with some stuff because you probably want to hit me.
Do you have some more accolades about Coach Palmer? He loves to hear
Well,
that.
I could give him
We
some.
should have been digging for some more to make him a little more uncomfortable over
Well,
here.
he's a good family man.
Coach, we
very
appreciate you.
Christ-like.
We appreciate you being here, and you know, once we get this thing rolling, you'll probably be at the front end. But we just kind of wanted to involve as many of our fall sports, and you know, recap our state tournaments. This is the first time we're able to kind of talk to our fans and our listeners, and you know, all the stakeholders of Jackson Christian, and so just kind of talk about before we get into football and North Point, talk about the overall you know, expectations and what we're trying to do as an athletic department, and kind of what folks can look for and expect from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everything that we do on and off the field wants to relate back to how we reflect Christ, and everything that we do. We want to everything we do on and off the field, we want to speak of excellence. And we talked about this the other day in chapel with our student athletes, of having the same identity, the language. How we do anything is how we do everything, and going about that in a daily life.
Absolutely. Talk about family. I want both of you to talk about family. This is one of the teams that really embodies the word. You know, a lot of teams talk about it, act like they're going to do something about it. I see it in these young men. This is really family.
Absolutely. I think even last night it was really cool. We had a Meet the Eagles event at the football field, and we're walking in trying to get guys' jerseys hung up, everything like that. And we walk into our coach's office, and was there 5 or 6 kids, your kids, everybody's in chairs where their dad's sat, and just having a great time. So it's awesome being able to walk into the office like any given weekday in the summer or after practice, and there's kids everywhere. That's what it's all about. And it goes back to just keeping the main thing. Yes, we want to be great at football. We want to coach our guys up, but also we want them to see us being dads and see us in a different light as well.
And that's important, because seeing that so many young men now don't have a good role model for seeing that. And in football, we could fuss at them. These guys do it with positive language. Now, we can't turn the camera, but right behind us, what's going on with those 3 young men from the team interacting with Shane Cisco and Paul and several. This is class. This is what it's all about.
Yes, sir. It goes back to our culture. You know, just teaching these guys each and every day to love, serve, and care more for each other, the people around them. Because if you get those things right, the school board takes care of itself. Culture always wins first. And so trying to instill in our guys each and every day those three pillars of, hey, how can I'm not looking for blessings to come in my life, but how can I be a blessing to somebody else? How can I be a blessing to my teammates and anybody I come in contact with?
Brian, you're always motivational, and you're right in there. And we even embody these things over into baseball, which he coaches, and you do a little track coaching too, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You kind of hit on family, and the biggest thing, I want to touch on it just from a adversity standpoint, because family is different for different folks, and it's hard for some folks. It's good for some folks. It's up and down, and that's what a football season is. That's what a baseball season is. That's what life is, and really it's how you bounce back from it. And I think a couple weeks ago, we went to Dyer County, and they got after us a little bit, and you kind of saw little fragments of kind of kids breaking off, but by the time that the game was over and we were trying to preach that message of adversity and all those things, they'd come back together. And families fight, families argue, all those things, but the biggest thing that we can leave with our kids and teach our kids is life is hard, and there's going to be good seasons and bad seasons and okay and all those things, but you got to rely on what God has planned for us and the folks around you, and it's so much bigger than a game. And I hope that our kids would say that if you asked them about it. They may not, but I hope that they take that away from also being around our guys and our families.
Absolutely. Guys, I want y'all to look over your shoulder and take a look. Blake Beckham, the biggest kid at that table, but that is future Jackson Christian players and students, and we love Blake, and I was kind of picking at him.
Did Blake send you? Did he pay you over there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he probably wants to get on the show.
But see, this is what I'm talking about. It embodies the school. We got the older kids here, the younger ones, and this is great. And folks, I'm going to let them talk about this before we talk a little bit about North Point Christian, because the journey is what's important this year, right? Mm-hmm. Not just one game, although we're only going to focus on one game at a time. But it is a journey. It's a marathon, if you want to say that. Mm-hmm. It is not a 100-yard dash.
That's right. And we talk about all the time how it's the root, not the fruit. You can't focus on the fruit at the end of the year. You're right. It's about the route that you take, the journey, the process, the day in, day out. If you want to be great, you got to focus on the details and the process of it all.
Absolutely. And I think our young men embody that, and there's several. I'm not going to call their name. I've seen they were good kids or young men, but I've seen some better things happening in them, and they have grown. And over this season, hopefully on Jackson Christian's Facebook and Worthy Road Studios, you can get a little bit from me, but don't focus on me. Watch the guards pull. Watch the fold blocks. Y'all may not use that's an old term, the fold block. Watch those linemen, not just the backs. Watch the team as a whole. Check the sidelines out sometime, because a lot of neat things happen over on the sidelines of embodiment. Y'all are welcome to that, and then we probably need to talk about North Point a little bit.
Well, you have to check yourself and check your ego, and if you're not on the sideline pulling for your guys, it's kind of one of those gut check moments of, everybody's got individual goals. Everybody wants to play, no doubt. You wouldn't be out there going through all you're going through as a football player if you didn't. But the main thing is, what can I do to help these guys that are on the field now? And I'm going to get my chance. And we call it scout team. They're our team, but those guys do a tremendous job. There were some really good sessions today of just getting after it, and those guys giving them a look, and that eventually, if everything goes the way you want it to, you're going to be out there. You're going to get your shot. But it doesn't matter if you're on kick return, if you're on kickoff, if you're on punt or PAT, whatever you're doing, you got to stay engaged, stay locked in, because you don't know which play in a game can swing it, and that's a big thing.
You're one pull muscle from being in that game. You go to sleep on that sideline, and we're in trouble. Not because of the injury, we're in trouble because you weren't focused in the ball game. Y'all tell them if I'm correct about that.
That's right.
And
100%.
I think we've got people engaged, and our strength program, I think Alan gets better and better every year, and the kids do too. And what a program.
Absolutely, and it's always a blessing to have Coach Irv develop our athletes. He does a tremendous job not only motivating them but also training them and getting their bodies ready for the game of football.
Okay, today, and I hesitate to bring this up, all the coaches, and Coach spoke, and he did a marvelous job. I thought the coaches that were there did a good job. I wish that all of them been there. Coach Darby, you were at the Exchange Club and talked about hurdles, and there's all kinds of hurdles. One that I didn't bring it up because it sounded like I was trying to take over. Life has some hurdles. Matter of fact, Dale Brown used to talk about hurdles. And hurdles aren't just in track, and they're not just scoring more touchdowns. There's hurdles you have to overcome as a human and a football player. Can you address that just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about a few of those hurdles today just through the football aspect of each season, who you start off with, the non-region games, and those are hurdles, but also in life too, being able to overcome day in and day out things that happen. We try to talk to our guys. It's how you react. It's how you respond to certain situations is the outlook that you have on life. And so that's what we try to instill in our guys. And speaking from a football standpoint, they were talking about different hurdles that you have each game and who you focus on. And right now all we're focused on is North Point and beating North Point and that game one, that 1-0 mentality.
Jack Patterson comes to town, but there's more than Jack Patterson. We faced him twice. I'm going to let you two guys take, and we've got about 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes left, and let y'all run with the ball. Tell people what they need to know where to be on Friday night.
Absolutely. I think this is one of the more talented North Point teams that we're going to face. They have Jack Patterson, who's a senior this year, who's getting a lot of interest at the next level. He's led, I think, Shelby County the past 2 years in passing. So he's got a tremendous arm. Defensively, they're going to run a broken stack, being an odd front, and they're going to try to bring pressure, bring their rock safeties down to try to confuse us and at the point of attack with our tight end sets and different things like that. So I think it's going to be a really good battle for us. Week one, it always is. Week one games are always tough because you never know when people cramp, other people go down. And then really, when it comes down to game one, it's the team that can overcome adversity, hang on to the football, and win the turnover margin. So that's what we're focused on. Our guys are locked into the game plan, and tomorrow we're trying to have the best Wednesday practice we've ever had. That's our focus.
Absolutely. Now, we got a little tailgate party that people need to be at.
Yeah, I just wanted to hit on a couple things before we wrap up, and Mr. Gary's doing a great job keeping us on track. 7:30 kickoff. It is a little bit different early in the year just with the heat and the turf and all those things. $7 at the gate. And then at 5 p.m. will be our family-wide campus tailgate. And these were extremely successful last year. Mr. Beckham does a great job with that. And, it kind of turned into a little mini with tents and all those things, and I was always try to sneak over and see what Mr. Daniel Kennedy had on the smoker and all those things, and so we're excited about seeing our band and our cheerleaders, and it just gives you that excitement of a small. It's small, but it's kind of a big time feel for a football game, and I expect there to be a good crowd there, and our game day atmosphere has improved so much, and a lot of that has to do with the product you put on the field and our guys and all the work they put in. But our band does a great job. Mr. Tommy McLean does a great job announcing. Our student section, Reed Cooper and the boys are going to be fired up, and so we're super excited for Friday night.
And we have had the first edition of the Eagle Show tonight. We're going to have many more of these each week, more student athletes, coaches, etc. like that. Wonderful job by everybody. And I'm going to end this for our group by saying thanks for your time this time. Till next time, but go Eagles. We'll see you next week.
The BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports.
The Jackson Rockabillys, Union and Bethel Universities, USJ, TCA, JCS, and Peabody.
Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers.
Thanks to the sponsors who make it all possible. BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.